Assalamu alaikum. Welcome all to Easy Human Anatomy channel. In this video, I discuss olfactory nerve, some clinical questions and answer. Fluid flavor depend on the sense of smell, not on the sense of taste. The person who have lost their sense of smell often complain of loss of taste. Anosmia, temporary or permanent loss of smell sensation. Hyposmia is the decreased sense of smell or a decreased ability to detect odor through your nose. Anatomical knowledge of olfactory nerve to understand clinical anatomy. This is olfactory mucosa. It is situated at the roof of the nose. And this is the mature bipolar olfactory cell. It contains some cilia which chemically react with odor molecule, and the odor sensation is passed through this bipolar cell and it reaches the olfactory bulb through the olfactory nerve. This is basal cell. From the basal cell, new immature olfactory bipolar cell is produced. This is the supporting cell and this is the Bowman's gland. Olfactory nerve is passed through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid. Now, this is the orbital part of the frontal lobe, inferior surface of the frontal lobe. Here, the location of the bulb and olfactory tract. The olfactory bulb is a relay station of the olfactory pathway and it contains glomeruli, and this olfactory glomeruli formed by the terminal portion of the olfactory nerve dendrites of mitral and tufted cell. This is olfactory tract and it is formed by the axons of the mitral neuron which connect olfactory bulb to the olfactory cortex. Olfactory stria. This is medial olfactory stria, this is lateral olfactory stria, and sometimes there is a intermediate stria. Medial olfactory stria is responsible for the autonomic responses associated with the olfaction, such as increase in salivation, gastric peristalsis, secretion in response to the smell of the food. The lateral olfactory tract is the principal route of communication between olfactory bulb and P. pyriform and pyriform olfactory cortex. These are the olfactory cortex, the pyriform cortex, the amygdala and entorhinal cortex. So, this is the thalamus and the olfactory pathway is never relay with thalamus. It directly goes to the olfactory cortex. This is the cribriform plate of the ethmoid. Through this tiny opening, olfactory nerve is passed. This is the anterior cranial fossa. It is formed by the orbital plate of the frontal bone, cribriform plate of the ethmoid, and lesser wing of the sphenoid. And here, the olfactory bulb tract stria is present. Now questions. What are the common causes of anosmia? Physical obstruction of the nasal passages due to rhinitis or sinusitis, exposure to toxic industrial chemical damage olfactory receptor cell, slight movement of the olfactory bulb in relation to the cribriform plate can cause anosmia. Why severe cold or viral infection produce hyposmia? The rate of replacement of the olfactory receptor is slower than the rate of loss. Loss of smell due to CNS problem is common or not? It is not common if loss of smell sensation due to the CNS causes it accompanying with other serious disability. Is there any relationship between loss of smell and any disease? Impairment of the smell is a very early sign of several neurological and psychological diseases: Alzheimer's disease, Parkinsonism, cystic fibrosis, Korsakoff psychosis. Why fracture of the anterocranial fossa leak CSF into nose? Cerebrospinal rhinorrhea. Olfactory nerve passed through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid, entered the olfactory bulb by piercing dura arachnoid matter of the anterior cranial fossa. This is dura matter, this is arachnoid matter. This is subarachnoid space, this is anterior cranial fossa. Any damage of the cribriform plate of the ethmoid damage the meningeal structure and lead to CSF leak from the subarachnoid space. Why CSF rhinorrhea is dangerous? It allows easy infection from the nose to the meninges, causes meningitis. So infection from the nasal cavity is easily passed through the cribriform plate of the ethmoid, and infection is spread to the meninges. Why fracture of the anterior cranial fossa causes anosmia? The fracture of the anterior cranial fossa damages cribriform plate of the ethmoid. Through this, olfactory nerve is passed. Olfactory pathway are different from the other sensory or ascending pathway. Explain why. In olfactory pathway, two sensory neurons are involved. First, bipolar olfactory receptor cell and mitral cell. And this is first order neuron, this is second order neuron, and this second order neuron is directly enter with the primary olfactory cortex, bypassing the thalamus. But in any sense ascending pathway or sensory pathway, the dorsal root ganglia, here the first order neuron, this is the second order neuron, and thalamus is the third order neuron. All sensory pathway is related with thalamus except olfaction. Olfactory pathway directly stimulated primary olfactory cortex. Why sense of smell is not highly developed in male? In human, the surface area of the olfactory mucosa is 2 to 5 square centimeter, whereas the dog has 100 square centimeter area. How many types of cells are present in olfactory mucosa? Supporting cell, basal cell, primary olfactory neuron, and differentiating olfactory neuron, usually from basal cell. What is the lifespan of the primary olfactory neuron? 30 to 60 days. What makes the olfactory neuron unique? The only neuron of the body which can proliferate postnatally. Explain the temporary loss of the smell due to the common cold and sinusitis. The primary olfactory neuron die 30 to 60 days after the formation, and new neuron is proliferated to replace it. Due to infection, the rate of replacement of the primary olfactory neuron is slower than the rate of loss. This causes hyposmia or anosmia, temporary loss of smell sensation. In elderly patients, sometimes the loss of the smell sensation will be permanent. Anosmia may be bilateral or unilateral. Usually bilateral anosmia indicate disease of the olfactory mucosa, but unilateral anosmia indicate disease affecting olfactory nerve or any area of the olfactory pathway. Unilateral anosmia is an important sign of frontal lobe tumor or meningiomas located in the uncus. It is also associated with the uncinate type of fit, olfactory hallucination, impairment of the consciousness, and involved chewing movement. But it became bilateral because medial stria communicate bulb of the opposite side. How does smell contribute to emotional and automatic responses? By lateral and intermediate stria, the olfactory information passes to the different area of the brain which regulate autonomic functions, limbic system, thalamus এবং hypothalamus. How do new olfactory neuron grow? It follows the pathway of dying olfactory neuron. You see, this is the mature olfactory neuron and these are the immature olfactory neuron, and it follows the pathway of the dying olfactory neuron. What symptom is developed after the sectioning medial olfactory stria or anterior commissure? This is the medial stria, and this fiber is passed through the anterior commissure to the opposite olfactory bulb and synapse with the granule cells. So, lesion or damage to the medial stria, it impaired the sense of smell. Why olfactory or optic nerves are not true nerves? They are extension of the telencephalon and diencephalon respectively. They carry the cavity of the brain which secondarily get obliterated. They are covered by meninges. They are not myelinated by the Schwann cell. They are myelinated by oligodendrocyte. How the olfactory nerves are tested? It is tested by asking the patient to recognize various order. Right and left nerves are tested separately by closing one nostril and closing both eyes. Any irritant odor like ammonia should be avoided because it stimulates the trigeminal nerve which innervate nasal mucosa. So this is all about the olfactory nerves and its clinical question and answer. If you find this video helpful, please share this video. Please support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for watching.